Hello everybody! It's 33 weeks now. I'm like 33 weeks and 2 days. It's Tuesday. Wow, it's so fun. It's tiring, but it's moving along. Here's the bump. Yeah, I'm growing a bit. It's so funny, you can't tell from the front, right? I'm literally like, there's some people, it's so funny, like I'll have clients, I'll go to their house and like sometimes I'll walk in and they'll totally look at my belly, but some people won't say anything and then some people will. So it's like, I think it depends on what I'm wearing that determines if you can tell, especially from the front. So yeah, I don't know, it's just funny, I'm just not super big, which I don't mind, like whatever, it is what it is. I was kind of thinking I would maybe get bigger. My dad made a funny comment the other day. He's like, oh, I thought you were gonna get so much bigger. You're not as big as I thought you would get. So, and I guess my mom, she actually didn't get very big at all. Like no one could tell she was pregnant until like later on. And I'm like in my 8th month now. So it's like, we haven't even booked, I'm about to book maternity photos, but I just want it to be even like bigger, to be honest. So we're gonna book them like this week to do at the end of the month, and I'll probably be around 36 weeks when we do them. But our baby shower is this Sunday. I'm so excited. Like, it's just crazy. Like, it's like that home stretch, you know, the last month and a half. I'm gonna be most likely stopping working around the first week of September. His due date is the 26th. In most places, some places it's the 25th, like on apps and whatever. I'm saying the 25th now. I was saying the 26th before, but I really wanted to come on Sunday. There's a significant reason for that, but he's gonna come whenever he wants to come. I want him to choose, and I know divinely that that is beautiful and right. So whenever he's here, but the estimated due date September 25th or 26th. So I'm planning to stop working on the 4th, because then that's exactly when I hit the 37 weeks. And we'll see. If I have to stop before, then I will. If I feel great and I want to keep going, but I think 37 weeks seems about right. And I think that's usually when people go on maternity leave. Anyway, so we'll see. And that's going to be a whole thing too. I've definitely in the past couple of weeks I've gotten to have some really like weepy days, very emotional days, just days where I'm like, oh, this is all so real, especially because we took our childbirth education classes last week. Our birth center actually requires us to do those, and it's awesome. It was really great. We learned so much. There was a lot of stuff I didn't know yet, and it was just really good to have it like in person and have someone, teaching everything. It was 2 days. They went over everything, like the labor, the contractions, like how to time them, when we're gonna actually go to the birth center, because all places are different. It depends on what's going on, And with the birth center, it's very specific as far as, because there's no inductions happening, there's no pain medications. So at the birth center that I'm birthing at, you have to be, when your contractions are 2 to 3 minutes apart. And that's usually because you're 6 centimeters. And that's when they will let us go there. And from there, it shouldn't, it depends on how long it'll take. But as long as I'm at the stage in labor, then that's when we go. So I'm glad that we live closer, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have contractions in the car. Ouch. I don't know what they feel like. I've already been getting a little bit of some Braxton Hicks. I didn't understand truly what those were until the class. Actually, she explained that it's like a tightening in one area of your uterus, and sometimes it'll get a little bit big, and I forget sometimes that the uterus has already expanded throughout like this whole area. Sometimes I think, oh, the contractions will be just like at the bottom, but no, they're like, it's actually up at the top. So I've had them sometimes, but they don't like hurt me yet. I don't know, like, I'm only 33 weeks, so I have plenty of time for things to change. And I've seen like some of my friends or people that I know that are pregnant, they'll post like little videos and like they'll have like a big contraction, and you'll see like, it looks like their body. So one of the girls at the class, she asked, like, is it Braxton Hicks contraction a like a part of like because like sometimes it seems like the baby's moving. I thought it was that before. I was like, is that his foot? Is that like a butt? What is that? But it is. So she asked if it was like a response to them moving, and part of it is. So she was like, yeah. So I don't know like if it's exactly like just the uterus part or if it's actually part of his body doing something. So it's really interesting. Usually for me happens right in this like on my right area. But so a little bit of that's been happening. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the symptoms that I've been experiencing in the past few weeks. I did start getting acupuncture again, which is great. That helped a lot with the constipation. I was having a little bit of constipation. I had to start upping my iron. I think I mentioned that maybe in the last video that it was a little bit low the last time or the time before. Oh, he's moving. It's so fun. He's moved so much. It's so fun to feel him moving and like responding, especially when I'm like singing and stuff and playing music. He like hears that. It's really cool. Anyway, I was having a little bit of constipation and acupuncture really helped with that. I was trying to get my iron levels up. She had mentioned that, you know, if you take iron, sometimes it constipates you. So could be that, could be my diet. My diet was really, it's been hard to eat healthy. I've been doing a lot better this week. I've been trying to up my protein. That's super important. I've been trying to really drink a lot of water and eat more veggies. Veggies is so hard for me to eat lately. I mean, it's always kind of been harder for me to eat veggies. I'm not the biggest veggie fan. So I'm hoping my kids will be. I'm like hoping to make it fun. You know, I like if veggies are like buttery and like got some salt and cheesy. But I have been trying to cut back on the sodium intake also just because, so my, I don't even want to say fear, but it is a fear and you don't have to be real about it. There's all these like little symptoms that come up or like things that you can get diagnosed with in the your later pregnancy, like preeclampsia, or, you know, there's like a bunch of stuff like cholestasis, which I've heard about, you know, a lot of different things that can cause like preterm labor or stillbirth. So, you know, you have to be very mindful. And I think a lot of it is about keeping your stress levels down, you know, certain supplements that you take in your lifestyle, you know, also the foods you're eating and the water intake. So what I've been worried about is the like preeclampsia thing because, so that's, I guess, when your blood pressure rises and, you know, that can be caused by many things. I think like one of the number one things is like maybe stress. So, you know, for me, that's been something I've always battled in my life, like stress, anxiety, depression, just mental health stuff. So I've had to really keep that in check, especially in the last month, because time's like getting so quick. There's just so much to do and prepare, and it can get really stressful. You know, my mind can start racing, and I'm one that loves to sleep. I love to be calm. I love to be in a relaxed state. You know, I love my sitting and just like being, but there hasn't been too much of that lately. And there's been some nights more recently in the past week where I've just like not been able to sleep. I was like, oh my God, I used to always be able to sleep. There was no problem, but I'm also a lot more uncomfortable. I'm trying to find positions that work. My back will just be like killing me. Every time I get up, my groin is just like, oh, it's in so much pain. I'm about to start going to the chiropractor every week because that does really help. He does like the massage gun, he does some cupping, he does, you know, the adjustment and like some, you know, pressure points. That with massage too, now I want to just start doing all those things weekly, you know, massage, chiropractor, and acupuncture. But, you know, it costs money, and that's been, you know, a stressor too, because I haven't, all of July, I barely worked. So, you know, I've been trying to like figure out new avenues of doing stuff, and it's just a big adjustment. So there's a lot going on, and I think my stress levels got a little bit high. So the other night I was noticing I have this like sharp pain, like right under my breastbone, and it'll be sharp in the same spot in the back. It almost feels like there's like a sword going through. It's like really crazy, but it was really painful. It was kind of scaring me. Like it happened 2 nights in a row, and then there was one day also that I had like a headache almost all day. And they always say like, call if your headache doesn't go away with like 3 hours without water. But I didn't call because like intuitively I was like, no, this is just like, I need to relax. I'm tired, you know, but I was starting to feel like stress is starting to get a hold of me. Like, I was just going through a really stressful few days. My pulse just seemed a little bit higher. I still didn't call. I still didn't do anything. I went to acupuncture. It helped a lot. I did relax. She did notice I was like deficient in like breathing. You know, I am getting a bit of shortness of breath. Yeah, it was really hard to sleep, and I was like pretty sleep deprived for a couple of days. I was so emotional those few days. This was like last week, and it was actually after we went to the birth education classes. So I think that also kind of triggered a little bit. But anyway, those symptoms can be associated with preeclampsia. So I was looking it up. I asked my mom, you know, I'm like, what do I do to like fix this now? One thing is a lot of water and like no processed stuff, no sugars, no, you know, that stuff elevates your blood sugar, blood pressure, your heart rate. So no caffeine. I'm not having any caffeine. I haven't had caffeine in a while. Actually, I did this morning. I had a black chai. I had a chai, but it was pretty like, yeah, it was, I went to breakfast with my friend. I was like, I'm not holding back here. We're gonna eat and enjoy. So I had that. It was a little bit of caffeine, but I was tired after. I did have carbs for the breakfast. Anywho, yeah, so I've been starting to really up my water and, you know, eat a bit better, have more veggies. And I had this download the other day because I had gotten off of it a little bit. I had stopped for maybe a week or two, just not being consistent with magnesium. Magnesium, you guys, is so important if you're pregnant. Even when you're not pregnant, it helps to, God, it's like, what does it not do? Honestly, it's just like, it really should be a daily supplement, especially if someone's stressed, you know, if you battle depression or just if your body gets into pain a lot, magnesium helps so much. I would usually soak in a bath with it. I had been taking magnesium actually throughout my pregnancy. There's just been some times where I just kind of like get lazy about it. That's the one thing that's pretty tricky for me, is being disciplined with the supplement taking and making sure I'm always taking certain things. But I've noticed a difference. So I didn't have issues with this other stuff before, and I've noticed since the past few days I had this download. I was like, oh my God, haven't been taking magnesium. So I took some magnesium at night, a lot better sleep. I felt a lot more calm. I have a couple different magnesiums that I take. The one that I had taken that night was magnesium potassium. The acupuncturist I was seeing before actually had recommended that to me to have it with meals because it also helps with digestion, lots of things. I mean, that one lowers your blood sugar, it lowers your blood pressure, your heart rate if it's too high, helps with headaches, just like everything, honestly. And then there's like magnesium malate, there's the Calm magnesium. I had a really awesome client yesterday give me the Calm. You can find it at usually most stores. It's like a powder. So I mixed that with my drink. That helped a lot last night too. So I'm really upping the magnesium intake. I think it's super important. And who knows, maybe it'll help. It helps with preeclampsia if anybody has it or you think you might be getting that. Just, it's so important to like calm down the stress levels. Oh, and I've been elevating my feet more in bed. Fabian's also been helping me on the birth ball. So I'll sit on the birth ball. It's really important to sit with your legs out, like man style, just so that the baby drops into the pelvis better. And I'll just like, he'll like rub my back, he'll rub my shoulders. We were doing the rebozo. Oh, I'm having, I think, a little contraction. I think so, little Braxton Hicks. They're so funny. It's so weird. It doesn't hurt me. It just like, it's just weird. I always think it's him, but when it tightens in one area and there's like not other movements going around, I think that's when it is. Anyway, I've been propping myself up. I've realized I was getting actually like, there's been some times where, because I'll be only on my side, it'll hurt. Like, you know, my shoulders will start hurting. So I do need to lay on my back. So I'll like kind of prop myself up, recline, and like put my feet over a pillow. That's usually what they do when I go to a massage or the acupuncturist. They have like it elevated under your leg. So that's really important too. I haven't like been swelling or anything yet, so thank God for that. I have been getting a little bit of stretch marks underneath my belly, and there is a slight, I think it's the linea nigris, is that what it's called? Little line. It's just it's very faint, but you can kind of see it. But But yeah, that's kind of been what's been going on symptoms wise. I'm pretty tired. Like I'm a lot more like, oh, it's so hard to bend over, guys. It's so like, it's just my belly's in the way. I cannot lift up my right leg to put clothes on. I always have to like drop the outfit and stick my leg in there. So there's just a lot of like little inconveniences, but overall, like I'm here for it. I love it. It's that process of like sacrifice where I'm just reading in this book, which I'm going to show you in a second, my new favorite books, some new add-ons to the reads that I love. But like, you know, us as women, like it's something that we learn as mothers, like or becoming mothers is, you know, sacrificing, and we're already sacrificing our body to carry another human being, a soul, and our child. So I'm all for it. I wanted this, I chose it, I'm excited. It's okay, my body's gonna change. It's not gonna be mine for a while. I mean, it's mine, but it's not mine, you know? It's like, it's just one of those things, you know? And it's like, it's so beautiful. It's all the way you look at it. It's okay, you know? I'm like really learning to love me so much more. I'm learning to accept all these things and surrender to the unknown. There's just so much unknown. Like I have no idea how the rest of it's gonna work out. I trust deeply that all is well. It's just working in my best and my highest. I affirm that. Baby knows, you know, we have this connection that you know, we talk every day. It's just wild, but it's cool. So on that note, I'm going to share with you guys some of the new books that I've got that I love, love, love. I actually just got 2 of them. One of them I've been reading. Actually, Fabian and I are both reading it together. I'll start out with that one. So as you guys know, I'm very into spirituality. That's kind of like the field of work that I am centering my business around, even the motherhood group. So guys, if you're a mother or you're pregnant, please join my Facebook group if you're drawn to creating a sacred pregnancy and empowered motherhood. This group is for you. It's only for mothers, so if you're not a mother, one day if you decide to do that, you can join the group. But we want to uphold that energy. So it's really cool. We're just all kind of sharing different things, you know, stuff on the motherhood journey, pregnancy, practices, etc. So this is called Shamanic Wisdom for Pregnancy and Parenthood. I saw somebody reading this book and like on Instagram, I think, and I was like, oh my God, I need that book because I love shamanic practices. I love Ayurvedic principles. I just have such a deep respect and love for shaman wisdom. And so this is practices to embrace the transformative power of becoming a parent. I started reading it alone, and then I was like, oh my God, I gotta read this with Fabian actually. So we've been a little bit slow on it. Like we're really slow on it. I've like skipped around a little bit. I've read about like, you know, the first, second, third trimesters. But it has everything in here, guys, like connecting with the wisdom of nature, pregnancy, loss and miscarriage, adoption, blended families, all the trimesters of pregnancy, birth journey. It's really a beautiful book, and early parenting, postpartum period. Yeah, I highly recommend it, especially if you're like, you really want to explore, you know, new ways of being a parent, like rewriting what you've learned, because that's the thing. I think that's something probably I'm going to learn so much about. I know I will. And I'll probably talk about it a lot. It's that whole, we're rewriting what we've learned, you know, there's so many things I don't want to do, but I have to also focus on what I do want to do, you know, based on like how I was raised, or, you know, we hold on to a lot. And there's a lot of unconscious things that we do, I think, when we become a parent, because it's just like second nature. It's just what you know. So this is a really good way to expand your consciousness and find some new tools, prayers. There's stories in here and questions that make you think. There's like practices, like we did a whole little practice last night. We talked about, not last night, a couple nights ago, talking about what are some things we want to do differently? Like how are we going to make that happen? How are we going to parent differently for certain things? And those are things that like sometimes you don't want to really think about, or you know, Fabian and I are the types of people that we're very go with the flow. Oh, we'll, you know, figure it out as we go. But it's like, there's also a fine line to being conscious and like having an idea and an intention. Super, super important. So love this book, definitely recommend it. All right, the next book, I'm like obsessed with this book right now. I can't stop reading it. Labor Like a Goddess. A Fearless Guide to Preparing for the 7 Gates of Transformation in Pregnancy and Birth. It's so important to me to have a conscious birth. I want to be present for all of it. I think it is such a spiritual, transformational journey, that whole part, the pain of it. It's, oh my gosh, I can't even like explain like this, but I almost want to do like a book club and have other women like do this with me. I feel like I'm a little late in my pregnancy for that, but maybe I'll start another thing or a new thing later on. But oh my God, like it's like we die to ourselves. We like have to reach death to cross the gate and like enter that portal into like being rebirthed ourselves as a mother. And there's actually a quote in here. It says like a woman, what does it say? I want to like quote it exactly because it's just like, I love it. It says, okay, where is it? I have to read it to you guys. It's really beautiful. Oh my God, it's so amazing. Wait, did I? That's not where I'm at. I like skipped a whole page. I skipped like several pages actually. Sorry, I was just noticing that because oh, here we go. Okay, well, this is a page about sacrifice, by the way. Okay, here. I love it. Mothers need just as much attention as a newborn because they too have just been born. How cool is that? Like, we really are. We rebirth ourselves. So to me, I think like I never understood up until now how like important, like, you know, celebrating birthdays. For me, that's always been a cool thing. I think it's so amazing. I can't wait to celebrate all my kids' birthdays and make a big deal about it for the rest of their lives. I'm like a big birthday person. But I think it's so much for the mom too, because that is a day she's never gonna forget. And I know for me, I'm never gonna forget that day. I'm never gonna forget birthing my child, no matter how it goes, literally, no matter how it goes. And one time I did a client and she was so stressed out. It was her son's first birthday party and the makeup artist I was with there, he was like, oh my God, she's like going crazy. Like she is just like, she was not in a good mood. She was very, very stressed out. And he was like, this birthday is about your baby. It's his birthday. Like, it's not about you. And she's like, yes, it is all about me. I mean, she was really sassy about it and it was rude, honestly, like the way it sounded, but I do understand actually probably like a fraction of what she meant / felt. How the way she was going about it was a little bit, you know, off, but it's okay. You know, whatever, she has her own things going on. But like, I remember like, I didn't understand that until like recently, like understanding that like, oh my God, that day, like just even all this prep for Labor Day. It's like the Labor Day, you know, like the birth and all this work that, you know, I'm putting into like learning and doing about it. You know, I'm doing all this labor prep now. Like it started at 30 weeks where I started drinking raspberry leaf every day. Haven't been doing it every day. I've been trying to do more. I start doing the cervix softener next Sunday. Then it goes into the evening primrose oil dates and like there's all these like things that you start doing leading up so that your body is prepared and also your mind, you know, the hypnotherapy, hypnobirthing, getting ready for the journey. It's such a spiritual journey and a transformation and it happens, you know, every single time we choose to give birth. So this is about 7 gates of transformation, labor like a goddess. I love this book. I'm all about it. And I'm gonna share some stuff in the group. So mamas, whoever's watching this, if you're pregnant, this is great. Join the group so we can talk about it. Next book. This video is getting a bit long. That's okay. This is another book I found someone reading and I was like, I gotta read that. Placenta, the Forgotten Chakra. Guys, this is like, my mind is blown. I never understood the placenta until recently. It's something people don't talk about. It's very medicalized in the hospitals. You know, you don't even see it half the time. It gets thrown away, and it's really sad because we create that, and this book has really made it on a whole different, like, there's a whole new understanding of it, and there's this whole, like, there's stuff about like recipes, like doing a lotus birth, how to do that, how to make it ceremonial. It's really a beautiful thing, and you know, I think it's something that's really not talked about much. I'm telling you, I mean, I didn't even know about it till recently. And yeah, like my mom didn't see her placenta. My dad said he saw it for like a second, but you know, it's just one of those things. See, I like to be in tune with this stuff. I'm really about making things sacred, making everything of value and importance. So for me, it's important to know these things. I am planning to have my placenta encapsulated. We do want to do a ceremonial like burning of the cord. I've seen that done, and I feel very drawn to that, resonated. There's a thing about like how you ask the placenta if it's okay to be removed. It's like essentially the tree of life, because we've all started and been with our placentas. Like they created us essentially, like it's separate, like it makes us separate from the mother. Actually, we have our own blood supply. So there's no mixing of the blood. It's really fascinating. I can't explain it. You guys have to read the book. I don't know how to explain it, and I don't want to say it wrong, but I do remember that part. And yeah, it's really cool. So placenta, the forgotten chakra. I just started reading it too, and I'm already like hooked on it. So that being said, I'm gonna briefly just talk about the birth plan thing, since that's like been the newest thing too. So I asked my midwife if I needed a birth plan, because I knew that people do that usually when they birth anywhere, birth in hospitals, whatever. I guess it's more of a hospital thing. So I do have one written out just in case that is to happen. But my only guidelines are that, okay, let's go over just a few of the guidelines. I want delayed cord clamping, obviously. Apparently my birth center doesn't do it till like hours and hours later. So like the very, very end, that I want no offer of any medication or anything. They don't have medication there, except they have like a couple of things, but it's not the same stuff in the hospital. They can't do epidurals, I don't think they do Pitocin or anything like that. They have a nitrous oxide machine. I don't want anybody offering me that. I just want to like really focus. We're not doing any newborn procedures, none whatsoever. I have a lot of reasons for that. That's like a whole other topic in itself. So we're not doing vitamin K, we're not circumcising, we're not doing the eye ointment, no heel pricks, none of that, no hearing test. Just, I have a lot of reasons for them, and you know, to each their own, right? So that's like a whole other video in itself. I don't know if I'll ever do one, but no newborn procedures, which I'm so grateful, because at the birth center, we don't get an argument. No one argues with us about it. It's just what's done is done. Amazing. What else is there? They don't do baths. They don't even do it for like they say not to do it for 2 weeks. Private time during birth, so we can have sex if we want and be intimate. Most of my labor will most likely be at home, so we'll see how that is. I want my music on the whole time, my birth playlist. If you guys want it, I'll put it down below. If anybody is pregnant and wants a nice zen, serene music to play, sentimental value, that I will link below. I think that's about it. That's all I can really think of at the top of my head. Yeah, so I'm glad we don't really have to have like a formal printout paper, but I think I'm gonna do it anyway, just in case, you know, just to be smart about it. They do have us buy a birth kit. I'll just probably pack a little bag of like a few things, but just in case, you know, you just never know, and I don't know. So I'm hoping for that we're there for not too long, you know, but we'll see. It is my first time, and I have to remind myself that this is my first time. It's gonna go as it flows, how it's being manifested, how he wants it to go. Not just about me anymore. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it's super long. There's so much information in here. So yeah, I mean, it's been a couple weeks since I posted the last update. I'll post a few more. I'm gonna post a little like smaller, shorter clips on like specific things and just chatting and tips and stuff. Guys, if you guys get any random accounts following you on Instagram, my only account is at Bria Jamie. There is no dots, exclamation points, underscores, nothing, okay? It's at Bria Jamie. That is my only account. There have been several accounts being made and they are fake. They're stealing my pictures. They're making it look very much like me and they're offering readings to people and trying to make money. So that is not me. Please report them if you see them. At Bria Jamie is my only Instagram account. And sorry, I have two others. At Bria Beauty with 3 Y's and at Faye Bria Travels. So those are the only ones that I have access to. Anybody else? Scam, not me. All right, love you guys so much. This is a really long video. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. I'm actually gonna be off to my 33-week appointment with the midwives in just a little bit. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.